Hello and welcome to my review on Transformers Legacy haslab Victory Saber. Now here we are, we have Star Saber and Victory Leo. And one thing I forgot to mention in Star Saber's video is there are two little flip out pieces here that are yellow. These are like for struts so he can sit flat. I forgot to mention that in the other video. So he does have that, so when you set him down, he's super stable. I mean, he's a little tippy, but he rests at a very stable point that's quite flat. So he does have landing gear. Now, it's not like the original where the landing gear comes out right here or anything, but it's at least something. So at least it's something. But we're gonna combine these two to make the giant version of the alt mode. So first we will prep this guy right here, and all we're going to do here is, I find it's easier, this thing's going to get knocked off later anyway, is simply just open that, take that off, and then we take this part here and we get this up and out of the way, and that's pretty much all we have to do for him for now. Now bringing Leo into frame here, there's a few things we're going to have to do here. First is we're going to take off this cannon. Now, if you wanted to, the instructions tell you to keep the head up, and once you have this whole thing together, there's no way for it to plug in right here. So if you wanted to, you could use this clip-on thing and put it on there like it is for his lion mode. That way you can have this centered. There's no other way to center it on here, and if you want all the weapons centered, you don't want it uneven, you kind of have to do that. But the instructions tell you to slap it on the side and keep this head up. So that's how we're going to do it. And also, the little tail, or the connector bits, those will simply just go straight back into place. And then we are done. So now, we take Star Saber here, and there's a little hole right here, and it's a slide that it goes down into. And there's these tabs on the side of the feet here. So what we're going to want to do is open this up a little bit. Maybe not that much, but just kind of spread it out and then push it into place. So just line everything up, kind of spread it out, get it in the track, and then it just snoops right into place. And then there's two little tabs right here and here that will go into those two little red grooves, and that slaps right on top of there, and that's a very secure connection. It's almost a little too secure because when you're trying to take this part off, it's a little challenging. So at least it holds in good. Then we can take his shield and simply plug it back into place where it was before. And if you want to, you can add these weapons. So I like putting the big guy right here on this peg, and then the little gun you can put right here. And if you wanted to, you can add the bluish effects. Now there's nothing on the back of Leo, so you can't put any thrust effects here, but you do have effects on the boosters here you can add, and of course anywhere on these guns. So now to get him into place, it's the same exact way as if you were just putting him on by himself. So it's a little tricky to do here, but just line that up, and then just push on it, that solid, and there we go. There he is. And I'm going to get this up here so you can get a better look at it. So let me just straighten out this cannon here. It is relatively stable. It does have a little wobble to it, like I shake, and it will shake a little bit, but overall it holds in place, and the stand works for this mode and supports the weight for the most part. So yeah, this mode is absolutely ginormous. Like, here's my hand. I have a really big hand, by the way, and it does not cover the whole thing. So yeah, this thing is absolutely massive. And this might be my favorite mode, honestly, because I just really like it for some reason. The space mode, and it just looks so ridiculous. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this mode. There's really nothing you can do in it other than arm it up and put blast effects on it. So without further ado, let's get into the other combined mode. So to start, we're just gonna untab pretty much everything. Take this off, and take this off. And then this is the harder part. What I like to do first is just separate this so you can get them untabbed from there. And then it's a lot easier. You can just grab it right here and just tug on it and it comes off. Trying to get this panel up and fold it up over is almost impossible, and it just secures. You can't just pull it up. So I like to pull it up with it and then rip it off. It's a lot easier doing it that way. Now, I'm not going to show you the transformation for Star's saber. I'm just going to get him into his regular robot mode, and then we will go from there. So and now for transforming him into the combined mode, you have to do a lot more for this guy than Star Saber. So first we will remove these back bits right here. We don't have to remove them, but it just makes it easier later. And then we have to do the fun part, which is sliding this whole back section off. So I like to grab right here and just push on these side yellow pieces, and he will just pop right out like so. I'm going to set that off to the side for now. Then for the legs here, you just separate them. And there's some tabs right here. Right there's the big tab. And what you're going to want to do here is fold up this foot and then bring in this little connector piece so it will sit flat. And we can just do the same thing on the other side. Then you're going to want to bring this up at that joint and plug it into place. And then we fold out the old tail. This will become the front bit connector for the foot. And then we fold out the clip. And then it's the same thing on the other side here. All we have to do is just bend it at that one joint, and this side's a little bit tighter. A lot tighter, apparently. There we go. And then we'll just clip it into place, like so. And then fold out the old tail and that red connector bit. And now you have your right foot and your left foot. Oh, wrong way around. Just like so. And you know it's this way because the gold section here for his chest is always facing outwards. So those two are done. Now bringing in the centerpiece here. And what you're going to want to do here is just fold up and in the head here. And then we're going to turn this around, and this is going to be the part that connects to it. So we're going to want to fold these blue or red sections up, and we are pretty much prepped with this. So you can also fold that up or keep it down depending on what you want to do. Now there is one small thing you have to do with him himself, and I forgot to bring this panel up. But with the feet, you gotta fold them back up into transformed mode here. Now we will take a look at the back of him, and there's this part here that the head clips on, and this is where I have my biggest problem with the figure. Is there's two little clips on the side, and they're supposed to clip into this gray section. And the first time I did this, I literally spent like 20 minutes trying to get it attached because I could not get it to work. And I've seen people on reviews, they just push it in and it works. On my copy, that does not work. And what I had to do was undo this panel and bring it down so I had more clearance to work with it, and then kind of pry the tabs right here open a little bit. And the best way I found to do this is you put it in at an angle like this, and then you twist it in. So it's going to be a little tricky to get on camera, so I'm just not going to try and get it on camera, and I'll just get it when I have it done. There we go. Now he's securely attached, and then we just need to bring these tabs in, and that will further lock everything into place. And then if you want to, we can put in the cannons, and these are just 5mm ports here. And just slap them in. It's the same spot that you would put it in for any of the other modes. And I'll have to bring my camera up a little bit because he's going to get pretty tall. But before I do that, we're going to do the feet here. And the easiest way to do it here is just push it in first, and and it would just clip on. If you can get it to clip, it just, that's that section right there. There we go. And then fold that piece up and it all clips into place, holds it very well. And you maintain that ankle or that toe pivot. Now it's like half of his leg pivots. There's nothing here, but you still have that, which is nice. So you can get a little bit more of an A stance with it. So that joint is still usable. And then we just do the same thing on the other side. I can get it to work here. This wants to keep bending on me. Come on. Okay, I'm getting this off camera. There we go, I got it in place. Now I can just fold this up and we can stand him up, and I'm going to need to raise my camera up quite a lot. And there he is with all of his main stuff here. Now, of course, we can use all the other accessories like the sword here. I'll just assemble that real quick. There we go. The cannon. So to attach this cannon properly, you're going to want to push this down here and then bring this down. And what's going to happen is this is going to go over his hand, and this is going to go over that gray section in the middle of his elbow. So just line everything up, make sure that wrist is straight, and then just start to plug it into place on the 5mm port there. And then it will just rest in there, just like so. And then we can bring that up, make sure all that is super snug, so you can give him his massive beam cannon rifle thing. So yeah, that's super cool. And then of course we can give him his shield. Just like so. And his sword. And now we have a fully decked out victory saber with all of his gear. And my gosh, does this thing look amazing. Just give him a semi-pose here. So, yeah, this thing is super menacing and, like, super just there. You can't miss it. With that chrome, the blacks, and the whites, the contrast between all the colors, and just the amount of weapons and the sheer size of this thing and presence is really incredible. Now, the last thing I'm going to do here is, if you want to, also you can plug in this weapon, but I typically don't use it that much with this mode, just simply because of how big it is. Now, of course, we can just change this stand right here, like that, and then we can unplug this if you want to. Of course, you can put it right there, but it doesn't hold well. And then we can put the peg right into the side here, and he just naturally just hovers over this yellow part, so you don't scuff it, which is super nice. But if you do bend it, the toe will hit it, so just be wary of that. And of course, you could use his ab crunch too. But I like spreading out his legs a little bit when he's doing a fight pose here. Let me bring his arm forward, up, something like that. But this guy isn't really much for posing in this mode. It's more of just looking absolutely amazing. So yeah, I've pretty much gone over everything that this package can do. I've done 4 videos over the course of a few days here, and this figure I would definitely recommend picking up a few years ago if you were gonna fund it. Nowadays, honestly, I don't recommend it too much unless you can get it for a real good price. I didn't get it for a great price, but I didn't get it for a horrible price. But this thing is still worth the money if you can afford it, or if you like Star Saber. But if it's not your thing, I definitely wouldn't go in for it. It's definitely got to be your thing. If this is not a figure you like, or the design isn't quite your cup of tea, there's other figures for you. Now, if you do want a Star Saber, if you just want a cheap one, there's a Kabaya one. That's probably like $80. This is going to be your cheapest way of getting this. It's just a little model kit that kind of goes together. I know there's another small one that's like $200, but honestly, pay another $100 and you're getting way more with this one. There's, of course, the Masterpiece, but that one's even more expensive than this one. The original, while it might be cheaper in some areas, you're not going to have the same condition, obviously being an older figure. So this figure, in my opinion, was worth the pickup. And if you have the money to spare and you really want a Star Saber, I'd recommend pulling the plug here and actually getting one. I might be a little bit biased here, but of course also we can bring in the little Micromasters because they are adorable. So yeah, that has been it for my video review, and see you guys later. Peace out. And there's no way I'm ever pushing this guy over.